This video we're going to be having a look at a few different arrangements that we can use when we're targeting predators up in the water. So a safe way that we can set a float up to work them depths mid-water, just below the surface, with different baits like chicken hearts, chicken carcass and also mackerel. Most importantly, it's about covering different parts of a water body as opposed to the bottom, but more so than that, it's about doing it safely so we don't deep hook any predators. So let's have a look. When you check in at reception, you'll be asked to select your rods. All rods are set up the same. Jurassic Tie Sport C, the Shimano 8000 bait runner, and down at the business end you've got your main line, £65 or £60, running down to something nice and simple. Nice inline lead setup. So first of all we'll have a look at this, and now we're going to add the floats to it so we can set up to fish different depths. As you can see, as standard, the tackle comes set up with just a nice inline 4-ounce lead running up to silicone tubing, and at the top you've got a bead and a stopper to hold it all in place. So here we've got two EVA floats. Now one of them's ideal, give you an idea of its buoyancy. One on its own's ideal for when you're feeder fishing, suspended method feeder. This will suspend, normally takes you to around here, and it'll lie flat when your feed is empty. Now when you come to using a lead, obviously lead's a lot more dense in the water column. This is where you're going to need two floats. These in conjunction together, they will suspend a 4-ounce lead, and it means that you can predator fish safely. When a predator attacks a bait, it's not going to deep hook in theory, and we don't see this happen often using the lead, and that's the reason why we do it. When we approach the bait, because of the vacuum that's created and when we engulf it, the 4-ounce lead is here, and obviously your bait's being engulfed. In that fraction of a second, that lead jams against the side of the mouth in the corner, prevents the hook bait going any further, and 9 times out of 10 you're probably an inch or two inside, and you can easily remove that hook or let the fish do it itself naturally. It's a different story when you're freelining or you've got a far longer uplink than 9 inch like we provide. Bear in mind, if you tie your own, don't exceed the length stated. That's how you end up with deep hook fish, damage to internal organs, inability to feed, last and worst, you end up with a dead fish, and that's the last thing we want when you're enjoying your holiday here in Thailand. You take your two floats, take your first one and take about an inch off it. Just cut all the way through using your scissors. Nice and simple all the way around. Don't cut the inner, just cut the outer. I'll explain why I'm doing this in a moment. It'll all become clear. Off she comes, keep that safe, don't bin it. Now, what I'm going to do here on the second float, I'm just going to create a flat edge. Just where this chamfer finishes, I'm going to take it off. What you don't want to do is take off too much and you don't have enough buoyancy there to suspend your lead. So after a few times, if you're not sure, don't take anything off and just fish it as standard. If you want a nice balance setup, you can trim them down like I'm showing you. Push these two together. There we are. Got your nice float, one piece. Spot on. It's time to get this threaded on, set back up and get the rods back out. Starting with your main line, coming down, got 2 stopper beads in place there, running down to a rubber bead acting as a buffer between your stopper and your float. Here's the float which I prepared earlier. It's basically 2 inline EVA foam floats. Continuing down, what you've got now is you've got your next stopper. Now what this is doing here, this stopper is simply to hold your tubing in place and stop it from sliding up the main line. So we've got a stopper, bead, silicone tubing, running down to another bead, again just a buffer bead, 4-ounce lead. Seen some action, let me tell you. Finishing with your predator rig. There you have it, nice and simple, and let's have a look how that sits in the water. So I'm just going to pop this into the margin now so you can have a look at how it sits. As you can see, we did trim this float down so it's less buoyant, meaning it sits absolutely perfect. Just about an inch showing, and that'll take a chicken heart, chicken carcass or a large mackerel. It's still able to be seen and nice and delicate. The beauty of using a float setup like this is you can simply adjust the depth and fish back on the bottom. The great thing is you can set a dead depth. You can therefore keep the line running upright through the water column, meaning there's less line running through the water at a diagonal angle, and it can reduce liners. So there's all sorts of different benefits to using a float. There are a few disadvantages, such as the possibility of tangles when you're casting, but you do get similar instances with any setup. Keep tuned into our social media to find out just exactly what it was. See you next time.